Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the studio today. I hope this day finds everyone well and inspired. And I thought we would get together today and work on a watercolor painting, and hopefully hope that it not only will inspire you but also inspire myself. I've not published a video in about a month and a half or so. Because of my Wi-Fi. I have a poor reception. We live out in the rural area, and it's quite a job just to produce one video or for you all. And so, since the last time I posted a video, we've received fiber optics, and I'm hooked into that now with a brand new computer, and I think the future holds some good things as I try to paint along with you all and able to visit with you. So one of the hardest things for me to do when I'm painting, and I'll share with you, is the beginning of a painting. And I thought to myself, how important is that underpainting in your production or in your illustration? It's very, very important. I've been a builder all my life, and pretty much all my life. And in building, I know, and you know, that you don't have much of a building or a house if you don't have a very good foundation. And in your painting, I don't care what you're doing, that underpainting is your foundation. And without that underpainting, your finished product will be lacking. Those colors that you produce in the early part of your painting, which you might find boring, but it's very important as you lay the areas out in your painting. So when you get to your detailed, then it kind of brings out those colors and highlights in that underpainting, which shows that it's very important. But yeah, just follow along here with me as we proceed here. As I said, it's not very exciting in the early portion of your painting. Here I'm letting the water run and carry my colors kind of blend together, and it kind of helps as you bring the colors together, a blending process, and also letting the paint flow in the direction you would like for it to do. And you can control that to a certain degree. But as I say, here I'm laying in the early parts of my painting, and it looks very boring. I know it does. And but one of the things about when you're painting, you can kind of in your mind see the outcome of what you're doing, and so that kind of pushes you along. And then as you proceed along with your painting, you get to a point that it's the inspiration starts coming out in your idea, and hopefully that your finished product will show that at the end. But as we see here, it's a building process, and it's slow, but the hours that you spend painting and you produce it in your videos, it looks like, 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. That's not so bad, but it takes hours. And if I was to lay that in my video, I know you would get very, very bored with it. And so with the technology, when we're producing our videos, we usually cut, splice, and all that good stuff that goes along with it, and try not to drag it out too far. But there's a lot involved when you're painting, and but it's a rewarding area, as you well know, when you look back and you can see what you've built, something from nothing to what looks like it's going to be a very good painting for yourself. And there's times that it doesn't turn out for you, and and I think you're the worst critic for yourself. Others will see it and enjoy seeing what they see, but you're your worst critic, and that may be a good thing too, because I think that's what keeps you alive and keeps you wanting to do better as you produce your paintings. But like I said, I have painted all my life, and sometimes I'm surprised at the outcome, and other times I'm not so surprised. But it's always a growing process and a learning process. So let's just sit here and watch a little bit as I proceed along with the underpainting, and as it evolves into a picture that I'm hoping that is going to evolve into. So let's just watch it for a little bit. I'll back off and go from there. All right, as you can see, we're establishing the trees and my landscape here, and trying to figure out what I want to put them. I don't want to establish too bold of color. I want to hold my light values because it's very important, as I've said in the past, and you probably well know. But once you lose those areas in your painting, you can't regain them. So you got to be really careful. You got, like I said, build on them, and as you proceed in your painting, and bring in the right respects as far as the color value, the hard lines, the soft lines, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm just establishing the trees, and I want them put in a certain area that brings value to your painting, and good balance. It draws your eye to the center, and so you got to keep that in mind as you continue with your idea. So, and again, like if you get too bold, you can take a Kleenex and recover, or take some water and scrub it in, and recover some of your areas that you want. But in the beginning of this video, I showed you the finished rendering of my painting, and you understand the values get a whole lot darker as you proceed along here, and then as you lay in the bark and what have you with the tree, it just makes it pop and come out. Color is very important. I love color in the watercolors. It just seems like they're bold when you apply them, and you can build off that also. And when you get done, it's just a kind of a exciting thing to see the outcome of how watercolor blends itself together. And again, like I said, I'm doing a very light underpainting of the trees, and as you saw in the beginning, I build off of this and bring a lot more detail into it, and again, like I said, you can kind of look in your mind if you've had any experience at all with your paintings, and you can kind of see what you're building off of and the outcome of your illustration that you're doing. So let's just follow along here, and I'll come in once in a while and kind of visit with you about what's going on, but you can see in your own mind's eye what I'm doing, and building. That's what it is, just building layers. Even though it's watercolor and oils or anything else, it's layering as you proceed along in your painting, and building as you go, and it's an exciting time as you see your painting evolving. As you go along with your layering of the colors, and it just makes it stand out. It's just an exciting time if you love to paint, watching paint dry. Now here's a picture that I did years ago with Canadians flying into a field, and in the evening hours, and I enjoyed that. Painting's gone. I donated it to a good cause, and I've done a few of those. Ducks Unlimited, I've given them a painting, and I like to have my paintings shown, and so it's just one of them things that I enjoy as I painted over through the years. All right, well, let's just watch it a little bit. Now, so I'm getting a little bolder here with my color, but I know that's going to be close. and you're going to have a darker value in these trees up close. And so that's what I'm doing now, is kind of layering it in. The atmosphere, that's a very important thing in your painting, and that's what I'm establishing here, is a closeness that's drawing near to you as you're looking at this. And you know, as I watch this evolve, I see things that I wished I had done. And that's what I said so many times: when you're painting, you don't necessarily just have to paint it one time, but you can come back and do another painting, the same painting, but you see the areas that you can improve, and that's polishing your craft, your talent as a painter. And you can always learn, and I love to watch other painters and kind of learn in their the procedures that they use, and it's good to watch. But like I said, if you don't push a paintbrush yourself, you don't get anywhere. You need to paint. And I teach art from time to time, and my students, I'll ask them as I see them later on, how's the painting going? Well, I just haven't had time to paint. And so, you know, I tell them, I said, if you don't paint, you don't improve your skills. So it's very important that you get your brushes out and paint it. You don't have to paint very long. It's just a short illustration for yourself. It's just a session that you can just quickly put something together, and it's good to paint every day if you can. But and I understand that life gets pretty busy for everyone, but there's time that you can make. If you really want to do something bad enough, you'll find time for whatever it might be that you have in your life. But let's just watch it a little bit as we continue. As you can see, I'm still working on the location of my trees. It's very important. Your composition has to be established. I call it a roadmap. When you're laying out your underpaintings and trying to establish those areas that you're trying to establish for different reasons. But in a moment, we're going to skip forward a little bit and kind of see the finished product where I want the main trees established. And so we're getting ready to establish that. Here we go. You can kind of see the map that I've laid out for my trees, and the background is going to be coming out here pretty shortly, right about now, and you'll see the background that kind of blends in with the trees too much. But as I proceed along with my project here, when I add the values to these trees that need to be shown in the finished product, it'll pop out from that background. So it looks, like I said, pretty dull, pretty boring right now. But again, you can kind of see the finished product in your mind. You've got to see that. To paint, you have to you have to kind of see the outcome. It may not be exactly the way you had planned it, but you have to have some kind of an idea for when it comes to the highlights, the value color, the colors itself. And if you get a good balance with those colors, you don't need to explain what you've done. You can see it, and the viewer that looks at a painting, you don't really have to paint the areas to establish what your painting's about, because a lot of times, as those that are looking at your paintings, they see what they want to see. And like I said earlier, now here's a painting I did not too long ago. It's an oil, and I love the color in it, and I just wanted to show a little bit of I love watercolor, and I love the oils and acrylics. I enjoy all of them, and it's just an enjoyable thing as you paint along, finding different medias that you can paint with. And this one here, I'm trying to establish is pure watercolor, and I don't want to really bring in any acrylic, which I can mix acrylic with watercolor, but I would just as soon establish it here just pure watercolor. So you'll see as here I'm putting in some foliage in the background. It doesn't look like much right now, but you'll see as we proceed towards the finished product painting how this will build and help you with detail come out later. So let's just watch here and follow along a little bit. I hate to just ramble along, but just kind of watch it grow, build itself. Technique has a lot to do with it, knowing what your brush will do and what it won't do. But yeah, it just like I said, you have to spend some time working with your brushes and your media that you've chosen, oils or acrylic or anything else. You need to experience it to improve your paintings. And so just watch it a little bit and see what comes out. All right, now you're beginning to see the painting itself and some of the detail coming out in the painting. Here again, as I establish the right color values, it brings the trees out and you're from the background as you see here, and the highlights are so important in these trees now that as I'm building a painting that I restore those colors and start to build off of each color as we apply and get darker and darker in value. So as you can see here, that I'm starting to build off the areas that I need to bring out as in detail, and establish those areas that set them apart from the background. I love to see the color start evolving in my paintings, and also in other paintings that I observe, and the color just is everything. It's your whole picture, and that's the exciting part about your painting. Pretty boring up until this part here, but yes, this is where you're rewarded for your hard work in the beginning, laying that foundation that all paintings need. And again, if you don't have a vision of your painting as it evolves to the finished product, it helps to be able to see ahead what the outcome's going to be. But we've still got a ways to go here as for painting, but you can kind of see how it's evolving into a painting now that with your detail. So let's just watch here a little bit as I build the colors and what have you. It takes a little time, but if you enjoy this type of thing, it's fun. It really is, or you wouldn't paint. As you're watching here, you can see areas in my painting that the paint is not adhering to the paper, and sometimes I'll use a masking fluid to retain the highlights that I want later in my finished product. But sometimes I like to use it, sometimes I don't. It kind of restricts you with your blending of your colors, but it's kind of valuable whenever you're trying to retain those highlights. And it's never used it before. You just apply it and let it dry. It don't take very long. And take your sponge or your fingers. Don't have any oil on your fingers. Whatever you do, in a watercolor painting, you don't want any oils near your painting. But you can take your thumb or your sponge and remove that masking fluid, and then you have the pure white color underneath, which you can establish your details that you're trying to achieve. So yeah, it's just one of the tricks that you learn over a period of time that kind of helps you paint and have a better outcome with your detail. I like to see the color coming through right here, this purplish color that I've applied here, and like I said, it won't remain. I build it, and get to a certain area as I'm establishing the detail that I'll get to where I like, and kind of pull off of it a little bit and kind of look at it in other areas. I think you can concentrate on an area too much, kind of bounce around when you're painting, and kind of gives you a fresh eye when you're painting. And so, yeah, it's good to move around on your painting and just kind of let it all come together. And it's kind of important with your colors that you want to establish. As you can see here, I'm starting to lay in the bark on the trees, trying to bring out the detail in the bark, and kind of building off of that, trying to establish some detail, as we see here. Every little thing you do to a painting towards the outcome of your creation that you've created here just adds that much more to your painting. And like I said, there's always room for improvement. Anything that you do, you can look at something. Now here you're seeing towards the finished product. I'm bringing in some highlights in these trees. That's much needed, and some of the detail. There's things about it that I like, and there's things that I don't like. So if I was to paint it over, I would do things kind of different. But you can see the color, how it just pops, and I enjoy when I see that in a painting, in anybody's painting, is the color values as they come towards the end of their painting that makes it just stand out and pop. But as a young person growing up, we spent a lot of time in the woods and the timber, and had some great times as I was growing up. And you know, when I do a painting like this, I kind of look back in those days and kind of reminisce the value that it held in my life, and to see God's creation. And of course, I don't believe that anybody will ever paint as well as God created this whole world, but it's fun trying to mimic it a little bit as we can. So, but yeah, you start to see the value here in underpainting and in the finished product. And your best friend is your paper itself. The highlights, you look back in the very far distance there, there's no color on that paper, and that white just makes it pop, kind of like the sun coming through there and adding value to the dark areas in the timber. A secret area. I call this a secret area that as you step back into the forest itself, and it kind of swallows you up, and in real life as you experience it, and it holds a special place in your heart because it'll always be there. And if you try to copy the feeling that you receive in those areas, that's another area that's almost impossible too, but you can kind of reminisce in those special areas as you gather in your memory of a child growing up and experiencing God's beautiful creation and the value of that. So yeah, just continue painting here, trying to bring it to now you're going to see an area that I was so involved in the painting that I did not notice that I had a charging cable hanging down in my way. And so I thought about not even publishing this painting because of that. And I thought, well, you can still see the value as I finished the painting itself, even with the cable in the way. I was so involved in the painting, I didn't see it, and so I chalk it up as a learning experience. There you go. There's the cable, and I'm embarrassed that it's there, but you can still see the painting. And in the future, I'll be more attentive to that. And yeah, I'm enjoying this painting. I hope you are too. And like I said, from the very beginning, it's very boring, but and you could skip ahead on that. You don't even need to sit and watch it. But like I said in the past, it's important that you watch the beginning, because that is your painting. If you don't establish those areas in the background, and build off of those areas, your painting will be lacking, and you just need to attend to those areas to be successful. And as your composition is being laid out, so important to watch different things in your painting that holds your interest in special areas of your painting that you want to establish to gather your eye. And the center part of this painting here, my favorite part is the background here, the orange and yellow behind the main tree there, and it goes into the white distance, the sun rays coming through. That's my favorite part, and but it all relates to itself, as you can very well see, and so it's important to adhere to those areas in your painting. As you see the barks coming out here, things like that, you know. And I've used the term the icing on the cake. Made some cinnamon rolls the other day, and the finished product was, when they come out of the oven, there was something lacking, and that was the glazing on the finished product. And this is what I call glazing also. Also, the glazing process is that you kind of glaze over your paintings, but to me, this is the icing on the cake that I'm establishing here. By the way, them cinnamon rolls are pretty good. So, at any rate, just watch them on here. We'll see as it evolves into the finish painting. Well, I hope you're enjoying this painting. I hope the word would be gleam something out of it for your own satisfaction, your own techniques. I think as I watch other painters, there's all kinds of techniques that you can pick up, and some of them are that you've come upon by accident, but there's value in watching different painters, I believe. But you know, I the last two I published videos that I published, I didn't use any voiceover when I did it. I don't like to talk while I'm painting. It kind of distracts me from what I'm doing. But I do a voiceover and kind of visit with you all about what's going on. And the last two productions that I didn't use a voiceover. And my wife said, I really need to say something. And I thought, well, I hate to just jibber jabber about things, but I try to bring to the table some valuable comments as I illustrate my paintings. So here we go. I tried to visit with you a little bit about this painting, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. It's just one of them areas that I value just watching someone paint. Not to listen to so much words and descriptions, but just to watch. And I think by watching someone illustrate their talent, that's where you learn. And you know, I sit and talk about things all day long, but to watch someone illustrate in their paintings, there's value there. Again, though, but you need to exercise your own brush, as I said before. Watching's great, but something even better is to applying your painting skills for yourself and receive some of the values you get out of experience, of your own experience as you paint. And as you can see, we're evolving towards the end here. There's more highlights, there's more detail to be done in this painting. I've got to, as you can see, there's spots in my painting that I haven't covered with paint, but I'll do a light wash, and you'll see those areas that will disappear in the finish production as we come to. And I like to do a light wash on my paintings that will cover the flaws and the areas that you haven't established any paint in. That's the finished product in your painting, I believe, is a light wash, and it means a lot to your painting when you get towards the end. And just part of the procedure. Keep going back to the trees. There's things about it that doesn't set well, and as I look at them, and again, there's highlights that you need to bring out in those trees, which adds something to your painting as you continue here. Again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I enjoyed producing it, and it's fun to share our talents. And again, like I said, there's value in watching other painters, and I enjoy that. If you look at my YouTube history, that's all you see just about is different people that I enjoy watching paintings, and it's rewarding to sit back and watch it. I just watch it all day long, which I need to do other things, but I enjoy watching other painters and their techniques, their brush techniques. It's just amazing. Some that I watch, the value that you achieve in your strokes and the different techniques that they use. I'd encourage you to just get your brushes out and paint, and you're not always going to be satisfied, because I think if you come to that period in your life, you probably quit painting. But I don't think you'll ever achieve that. I think you'll find that there's always room for improvement, and it's just the areas that keep you busy with your paintbrush that you value. Here, as you can see, I'm trying to bring out some highlights in these branches, make them kind of pop out from the background and kind of establish a detail in my painting here. As you can see, as you watch my videos, I would encourage you to leave a comment once in a while. I would like to hear from you and get your input, and just to hear what's going on in your life, in your painting experiences that you've had or are going to have. I'd like to communicate with people. I'd love to hear from you. So if you think about it and have something to say, just leave it in the comments section, and again, I'd like to hear from you. There's something about that branch that bothers me, and it still bothers me, but anyway, I move on, and directly out there's a place right there where it connects. I didn't quite achieve what I wanted, but yeah, at any rate, again, this is my favorite part of the painting, is bringing in the detail, which makes things stand out. Not only would like to hear some comments from you, but I'd appreciate you all watching, and I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Kind of encourage me to keep going, and not only subscribe to it, but you might share it with someone, and that will give me the incentive to paint. A lot of work is involved in a YouTube channel when you're producing paintings, and when you're doing anything. I watch some of these homesteaders and what have you, and it's looks pretty simple, pretty easy, but when you get involved in the background of producing a video, there's a lot of work that goes along, editing, and not only talking about the painting part, but the editing. It takes several hours, and again, you've got to enjoy that part of it too, or you won't no longer exist in that area of producing videos. And so again, it's good to hear from anyone, and kind of leaves you feel like that you're achieving something, especially if you get a good comment. I hope that's, if I do hear any comments, I hope I hear positive ones, but you never know. But anyway, just coming up towards the end of it, again, I kind of enjoyed this painting as I produced it, and watch it evolve into what it is now. And I love cedar trees. My wife don't care for them, but cedar trees and pine trees, they have a statement of their own. You see them growing, in the wintertime. The reason I like the cedars is you've got some color during the winter months, and the cedars, they just stand out from the dark winter days, and how the redbirds love to perch on the limbs and eat the berries from the cedars, and just part of Mother Nature that we see. I'm not having formal training in my painting, you probably can tell that, but I found a love for it early on in my life, and have painted early in my life, as I've told you in the past, in my earlier videos that I produced. But I've always had a love for painting and drawing, and I love to do wildlife. I love as a young boy, my dad would take us, my brother and I, on hunting and fishing trips, and we would go to North Missouri during the flight path, the Canadian geese, and I love to watch the geese fly in, and as they glide into your area, as you watch them lose altitude and come in for a landing, kind of holds value as I paint wildlife. The experiences that I have experienced during my younger part of life, and it kind of follows along, and I love to paint wildlife. And so geese coming in, ducks, deer, you just name it. I love to paint wildlife. And, so anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed presenting it to you, and I hope it's helped you in your endeavors when you sit down and do a painting of your own. I hope that you can you've received some kind of rewarded watching me paint this. I hope it help you in different areas in your painting as you proceed along in your painting career. So anyway, enjoy, and I just hope you've got something out of this. I believe we've reached a point in my painting that I've done all the damage I'd probably do with it, and come to realize it's time to close out. Being a pastor and a friend, my prayer for you and yours is that God blesses you in a great way and keeps you all safe. I'd like to leave you with one thought, and that thought is, treat your brother with kindness, and you know, that just might change the world. So thanks again, and I hope to see you later on.